Well, hey everyone, how's it going? It's Memorial Day here in the United States, and I've had a pretty chill day. Spent a couple hours at the gym doing some basketball and a little bit of yoga and stretching and some weightlifting for my biceps, triceps, and shoulders. And then I've been here at home since then. I made a nice steak, some yogurt with wild blueberries. This morning I had some eggs with cheese. But this video is about this statement from the Iliad from Homer. And Achilles, a mythical hero who fights in the Trojan War. If you've ever seen the movie Troy from, was it around the year 2000, maybe somewhere around there? I don't remember the exact year, but Brad Pitt in the movie plays Achilles. And he's having a conversation with I can't remember the gal's name, but she's one of the Trojans that got captured. And she's having a discussion with him / argument about the gods. And Achilles says to her that the gods envy us meaning mortals, because any moment can be our last. That life is more beautiful because we are doomed. And certainly, this statement holds weight and meaning for me in my life, because there's been so many times since 2018 and a few before that even, but with my health, there's been so many times where I have thought, I think this is the end. And when enough of those times happens, it does something to you. It transforms you. Life, you start to lose attachments to things in life. You start to be influenced less by other people. You start to take more risks. Present moments and experiences begin to have more meaning and value. I know that despite my best efforts to exercise, eat healthy, and do the best I can in life, that I'm going to die one day. And I think about it all the time. I think about death constantly. Right now I'm thinking about it a little more because something's wrong with my right lung, and I'm gonna go get a doctor's physical next week. And I'm gonna have them do a CT scan on it just to see what's going on. But it still hurts, it's still sore when I cough. And it could be that it's just inflamed, because my body gets inflamed easily. Or it could be something else. But all these strange things that have happened to my body, pretty much from head to toe, I've had something strange happen. I remember back in 2019, it was like my right kidney felt like it was going to explode off and on throughout the year. and various other things that are just feeling weird. And so I'm used to strange and unnatural stuff happening in my body that feels like it might kill me. And it's an interesting way to live, to have death so close. Death is something I know every human thinks about. You can't escape the thought of death as a mortal human. As I mentioned in my video from a little short while ago, we are all mortal. We are all subject to mortal pains and difficulties and eventual death. The fascinating thing about death is that no one with certainty and clear evidence has come back to talk about what happens when we die. That's what makes death so interesting, and that's what makes life beautiful, and that's what makes death so final and so difficult for those who are left behind, that truly cared about the loved one that died. But I know, as I said, despite my best efforts in reclaiming my health, and I'm going to die, whether that's in the near future or the long-term future, it's going to come. And a few close loved ones may mourn me for a time, but ultimately I will turn to dust and be long forgotten as the years roll by. And there's a sense of sorrow with that, but at the same time there's a sense of peace and acceptance that comes with recognizing that truth, that I know that when I pass I will eventually become a nothingness, almost as if I never lived on this earth. My time will be done. And I think everyone who's lived in the past probably felt that to some degree. So while we have this turn on earth, regardless of what's happening, whether you're in amazing health or you're having some health challenges, you live life and do the best you can. You find out what's important to you and you give it your best shot. And nobody really knows what's going to happen when we die afterward. It's quite possible that death is just a shutting off of a switch, like going under anesthesia or falling asleep, but with no dreams. That you're shut off and you're done. And it could be that when we die, there's a next phase of transition that we go to, that our energy and soul moves toward a next phase of life. And I prepare myself for whatever case happens. It would be kind of fascinating to me that whatever happens is what we believe the most will happen. That would be an interesting outcome. So if you believe that you're just going to be shut off, then that's what happens. But if you believe in life after death, then you go there. I would like to think that there is some common thing that happens when we all die. But death is an important part of life. It gets rid of the old and ushers in the new, and I think there's some good to that it's an important thing. It brings in fresh perspective, fresh new blood, and hopefully an opportunity to correct things that weren't going right with the older generation. And there's a lot that needs to be fixed in this world, for sure. And sometimes it takes a new generation to be able to do that. But life is more beautiful because we are doomed. So I sit here with full acceptance, knowing I am doomed. Whether that's going to happen soon or much later, I'm sitting with the experience of my own mortality, knowing that any moment can be my last. That even though I've had a lot of weird stuff happen in my body, this lung thing could be something that kills me, or it could just be nothing. Some inflammation that goes away after a few more weeks or months, or maybe it never goes away and I just have to live with it the rest of my life. But I think it's a beautiful thing, the statement from Achilles, life is more beautiful because we are doomed. It shows a soldier's bravery that's willing to go in the line of fire, or a cop, police officer that goes in the line of fire. People who do brave things and risk their lives. It's very brave because there's no knowledge of what happens next. You can believe certain things about what happens next, but nobody knows for sure. So I suppose what I'm saying is I am sitting here embracing my own insignificance in the grand scheme of life and reality in this world, and the significance I have to the few close people around me. I embrace and accept that as well. Is death something y'all think about very often? I've done various videos on it in the past, but this is the statement I'm thinking about now. And I think it's a beautiful statement. That's my own perspective, my own philosophy, that life is more beautiful because we are doomed. I've learned to sit with truth and reality in life and to see it and to do my very best to sit with it and align to it. I am mortal, so sometimes it isn't easy, but I believe that's part of my purpose and path, is to learn to be at full acceptance and peace with whatever's going on and to not resist what is. Lately, I've been thinking about how do I bring out the wizard in me, that part of me that can do no wrong, that always says the right thing, the very charismatic, caring, kind, and loving version of me that is a bright light to others. How do I bring that out more? I've done videos on that in the past. It seems like the more I try to bring it out, the more, the less it comes out. It's kind of interesting. Well, I sure love and appreciate all of you. I appreciate you joining along my journey and watching my random videos about my life journey and the things I've learned, and we'll see what happens as time goes on. But each day I'm alive, I feel like, is a miracle, to be honest. I wake up in the morning and I say, I'm here again. Isn't that interesting? And we'll just keep trucking along. But yeah, curious to hear what y'all think about the statement that life is more beautiful because we are doomed, from Achilles in the movie Troy, but it's really from the Iliad from Homer. The movie Troy is based off of a portion of that. All right, namaste. We'll see you in the next video.